I don't think it's without question that a majority of the fan base agrees that each and every one of the main six, in their opinion, is best pony. Well, heck, if you now call them the main seven, everybody would agree that they each have their own best pony out of the main seven. But each and every one of them has something about them that, even though a lot of fans like them and consider each and every one of them best pony in their own special way, there are some things about them that fans feel is annoying, that needs to stop. And thankfully, we've kind of seen that happen over the past several seasons, but not entirely. You see, the one thing that each and every one of the main six or main seven have that fans find annoying or unnecessary is something that kind of makes them feel antagonistic. Well, not totally antagonistic, but more like, this is not you, this is not the character, why would you even bring this up? For example, depending on who the writers are, Rainbow Dash's ego will always get the best of her. Rainbow Dash will allow her ego to overcloud her judgment until it's almost too late. Applejack sometimes has stubbornness, and sometimes she'll let her stubbornness overcloud her judgment. Twilight, at times, wanting to be the ideal princess and make sure everything falls in line, sometimes gets a little over eccentric when it comes to research, studying, whatever, and just going into full-on explanation mode, if you know what I mean. But the other thing about Twilight is at times, just like you saw in the movie, she would lash out for no unnecessary reason because she gets frustrated too easily, and a lot of fans feel that's not necessarily Twilight. Pinkie, on the other hand, you could say there's nothing wrong about Pinkie. Let's just say this. The one thing people find about Pinkie that's kind of annoying, that they feel is unnecessary, and you saw it recently in Secret and Pie's episode of Season 7, she can be very pushy. She can be very persuasive, or try to be very persuasive. She can be very pushy. It's like she can't take no for an answer when it comes to things. You know what I'm saying? Now you might say, well, what about Fluttershy? Fluttershy, well, basically, Fluttershy has her own weaknesses. And that is, even though she's learned to be more assertive, she's learned to be more bold, if you will, more sassy in a sense, she still has the weakness of sometimes overdoing things that people ask her to do. Sometimes she has a weakness, sometimes her weakness is acting more like what they want her to be than just trying to be true to herself. I think we're going to get an example of that in this upcoming season. Starlight Glimmer, people are still up in the air about her, but I think the one thing they would say about her is she's still very prone to being angered very easily. You take a look at the episode All Bottled Up, and you kind of get the idea. I know those are kind of weird examples, right? But there is one I have not yet mentioned, one that a lot of fans feel is not that shouldn't really be necessary anymore, and that even though a lot of fans consider her best pony, fans like Josh Scorcher, Firebrand, Ari, the Fiery Secretary, Silver-Quill, among others, Rarity probably has one of the most despised weaknesses and annoyances to the fans that they feel shouldn't be allowed anymore or shouldn't be used anymore. And it looks like that's the case over the past recent seasons, but not necessarily. That is Rarity's habit of flirting to get what she wants. Now, when Silver-Quill did his review of Rarity Investigates, Silver-Quill pointed out a little bit of a research when it came to flirting and how it basically can help get an advantage. Basically, overall, how it could help someone get an advantage that they need, or get the help that they need, or something like that. But Silver-Quill made it perfectly clear that this is the one trait about Rarity he doesn't like. Because basically, you're manipulating, because basically, here you have the most generous, if not sweetest pony in the show. And here you have her manipulate, using flirtation to manipulate others to do what she wants. I mean, you look at Rarity Investigates, and basically the reason Silver-Quill brought this up was due to the fact that she had basically used her flirtation her flirting with the delivery pony, I should say, to manipulate him into adding one more delivery for that day when she could have easily waited to the day after. But she didn't. She used her flirtation tactics to manipulate the delivery pony, to make that one less extra delivery. And again, this is something not a lot of fans like, because to them, you're basically taking the most generous, sweetest pony on the show, essentially the eye candy, with no disrespect to the others, and you're having her use those feminine wilds of hers to get what she wants when she shouldn't. When she should be more understanding and generous at the fact that, hey, this delivery pony did the best he could. He'll probably make up for it tomorrow with another delivery with the right stones or gems that she needed. Others, when it comes to Rarity's manipulation and flirtation, would point to Spike. And this would be justification to say that Rarity would never work. Here's the thing, though, about Spike. Yes, Rarity does use her feminine wild sometimes to get Spike to help her, or to help the others. But she does this when it's necessary. Now, true, Spike is the kind of character that doesn't have to do this, but he does it out of the fact that he has a crush and attractiveness to Rarity, and he is willing to do whatever he can to help her. All she has to do is sweetly ask him if she wants to help her find gems. Boom, he's right there. Or if he wants to help her at the spa, kind of fan down or anything, or if he wants to help fan her down at the spa, he doesn't have to do it. He's the kind of character that doesn't necessarily fall for this, but yet, Spike is not, how do I put this? Spike is not necessarily the kind of character that would fall for Rarity's feminine wild and flirtation, but there are times that he does, and the only reason he would do it is to not only spend time with Rarity, but because of his attractiveness and his crush and his love for Rarity. That's about it. I mean, yeah, there are times that you could probably say she's used it to get him to do things, but there have been times when she's done it because it was necessary. Now, I will admit, Secret of My Excess is probably not the best example in some people's minds, but here's the thing. Spike didn't have to give her the gem. All she did was use her feminine wiles to explain how magnificent that fire ruby was, and he didn't have to give it to her. But he did, out of the kindness and love, out of the kindness of his heart and the love he has for Rarity. Again, same thing. If you watch the series, same thing when he fans her down over at a spa somewhere. He doesn't have to do that, even if she flirts him into doing it. Because he's the kind of character that wouldn't fall for the flirtation, but he does it out of love and out of the love he has for Rarity. And pretty much if he has nothing else to do, boom, he goes there. The point is, Spike is the kind of character that, even in the beginning and lately, is the kind that will not truly fall for Rarity's feminine wiles and flirtation, but does help her and is there for her because he truly loves her. With the people that don't support Rarity, Spike and Rarity, agree with that or not. Point is, though, with Spike kind of being an exception, Rarity's feminine wilds and flirtations, if you will, are not probably the best character trait to give a character that's centered around generosity. It's centered around generosity and being, like I say, one of the sweetest ponies along, let's say, Fluttershy in the series. I'm not saying that Rainbow and I'm not saying Applejack aren't sweet either, or Starlight or Pinky or Twilight. They are. But when you're talking like sweet, nice, and it's like, man, I'd like to go on a date with that girl just once to see what, kind of have a good time. Rarity ranks up there as being one of the kind of characters that you'd be able to do that with, and she wouldn't have a problem. Because she's a very kind, sweet pony and very generous. So, when I look at Rarity, when I look at the main 7, I should say, each and every one of them has a character trait that a lot of fans feel is unnecessary because that's not what their character is about, or shouldn't be about. And Rarity's flirtation that she uses to manipulate ponies or others to kind of get what she wants at times is not the best character trait for a character based around generosity. Hopefully, when they do Generation 5, whenever that will be, that this is a character trait they take away. That they keep the generosity, the sweetness, and all that, but they take away the whole flirtation to get what you want kind of deal. So, hopefully they do that. I mean, I can't say that they will, and I can't say that they won't. But we'll just have to wait and see. Anyway, let me know what you guys think down below. Comment if you like. Sorry if I rambled a bit here, and I'll talk to y'all later.